Hello everyone, welcome to the meeting. Today our team will present to you our recommendations and findings on conducting business in China, as well as proposal for 3 products. The presentation was put together by Morgan Anderson, Summer Asville, Rachel Barney, Posner Collin, Preston Patton, and Allison Rasmussen.
To start off, we will talk about cultural considerations. The major differences between China and the United States, according to the Hofstede Cultural Dimensions, are individualism, long-term orientation, and indulgence. The most significant difference is individualism. The Chinese thrive when working in groups, and they will be loyal to their group and do what it takes to get the job done. The second significant difference is long-term orientation. The Chinese culture is realistic and logical. They indulge in change and will adapt their traditions to different conditions. They are thrifty, they like to invest, and will persevere to achieve their goals. They see the benefits of innovation and aim to push the product forward quickly. The last significant difference is indulgence. Leisure time is not important to them. They have strong control of their actions and don't let desires get in the way of making a decision. The Chinese will be more methodical and factual when purchasing a product. They won't impulse buy. They will need to see the full benefits and understand the financial implications before making a decision. In China, there are 2 forms of communication, verbal and nonverbal. For verbal, the Chinese are indirect communicators. Words don't have much meaning as posture, expression, and tone of voice do. They want to maintain harmony, so they most likely will understate their point and will not give a direct no. It will be important to listen closely, pay close attention to what they don't say, and repeat understanding for clarification. As for nonverbal communication, the Chinese are most comfortable standing. They don't like physical contact and prefer direct eye contact. They consider this a sign of being polite. Another key element to nonverbal communication is silence. This indicates the person has thought about the question and has given it great consideration. China has many different negotiating strategies that are unique to its culture. Young people in major urban areas tend to be more aggressive and faster when making deals than older people in rural areas. As stated before, they work in groups. Many countries look for the decision maker and then try to influence or persuade that one individual, but by having a group, it makes it harder for the other country to try to influence one of the Chinese businessmen. They also like to establish long-term relationships with companies before starting the negotiating process. This can slow down the bargaining process and pressure us to make rash decisions because we have time commitments. China has a belief in the concept of guanxi, where they have non-negotiable obligations to someone. Foreign businesses could potentially take advantage of that in having the Chinese honor their responsibilities. The Chinese negotiators also don't consider a signed contract to be a done deal, and they will continue to get a deal that's in their best interest. Lastly, they place their focus on the price in the beginning and will not move on to the other aspects of the deal until their target price has been met. Currently, the chief of state is President Xi Jinping, and the head of government is Prime Minister Li Keqiang. According to China.org.cn, the party that is in power is the Communist Party of China. The Republic of China has 3 main branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. With the legislative branch, National People's Congress is an example, and they serve 5-year terms. Members are elected by municipal, regional, and provincial people's congresses, and the People's Liberation Army has a maximum of 3,000 seats. The executive branch is the president and the vice president, and they have unlimited 5-year terms and are elected by the National People's Congress. The premier is chosen by the president and then approved by the National People's Congress. The judicial branch, High Court, is the Supreme People's Court, which has 340 judges, the Chief Justice, and 13 Grand Justices. There are 12 different categories that are measured to determine the overall economic freedom score of a country. China is considered mostly unfree with their overall score of 58.4, and they're ranking 100 out of 169 countries. Despite not being a very free country, China has above the world average in a few categories, including judicial effectiveness, physical health, and government spending. These advantages would help a business in China because there is funding available for businesses that get approved. China also has some weaknesses that dramatically affect their freedom score negatively. These weaknesses are mainly financial, investment, and business freedom, meaning that China has a strict policy on what you can invest your money into, how businesses operate, and there is also a great government intervention when it comes to banking and personal and business finances. Because of the strict government intervention of investing, financial, and business activities, it is recommended to be cautious when entering into the business world in China. It is difficult to get a business started there, and when the business is approved, it will take extra time, patience, and knowing the culture and the way the government runs for a smoother transition. While China might not be as highly ranked as the United States, it is a country that is trying to support new companies. China has eliminated the requirement to obtain a capital verification form from an auditing firm. China has also launched a website to make the application more streamlined and faster for a company to become registered. In China, there are less tax forms that need filing, which means there is less time needed to prepare those tax forms. In China, there are about 7 forms and 142 hours needed to complete said forms, while in the United States, it can be up to 11 forms and over 170 hours to prepare them. While the taxes can be high, taking up to 68%, it can be overcome with a proper business plan and a high-demand product with good profit margins. The contract enforcement can take a while to be enforced, but the process quality is the same as the United States and can be simplified if proper measures are made when creating the contract agreements for the company.
Being a member of WTO, you must follow the rules of the trade agreements. The WTO helps resolve trade disputes by providing members with consultations. Most favored nations is defined as a country which has been given the most favorable trading terms by another country. MFN supports trading other people equally. WTO's main goal is for trade between nations to run smoothly and predictably. MFN ensures that special favors are not given to certain nations or people. Some of the benefits of free trade agreements include the opportunity for investors and exporters to do business in the overseas markets like China and many others. These benefits will affect all areas of trade, including goods, services, and investments. Other advantages to FTAs are they help solve behind the barrier problems, reduce and eliminate tariffs and quotas to help trade run more smoothly and efficiently. FTAs also encourage investment and address issues such as intellectual property and e-commerce. As a result of the agreements mentioned above, productivity increases and simultaneously GDP growth becomes higher. The Chinese government considers free trade agreements as a platform to open up to the outside and accelerate domestic reforms. China also views FTAs as an important supplement to multilateral trading. Currently, China has 16 agreements signed and implemented, with 24 agreements that are under construction. The Chinese government is restrictive regarding foreign direct investments. Their legal environment is always changing. They have weak intellectual property rights and are not very transparent. Depending on the industry, there could be a limit on how much of the business we are allowed to own. In some instances, we might not be able to invest without a Chinese partner. However, China is working on loosening many FDI restrictions. One incentive is a decrease in import tariffs on over 15,000 taxable items. Another incentive is faster customs times. Customs paperwork has been decreased by 40 documents. China has also lowered administration charges for ports, which decreases compliance costs for shipments. These incentives allow for items in customs to be released more efficiently. One last point to consider is where to build our business. Many of the smaller and upcoming cities in China are offering tremendous savings for FDI. We recommend forming our business in the city of Chengdu. It's offering up to $75.4 million in establishment fund to businesses who are in the city for longer than a year. Purchasing power parity of GNI is simply a more efficient way to measure the real value of one economy and compare it to that of another country's economy. It considers the value of one country's monetary value, like the US dollar, and compares it to another, like the Chinese yuan. As for the definition of gross national income, or GNI, it is the measure of income made by a country, includes income from abroad. With the most recent data from 2017, the PPP per capita GNI was 16,760. From looking at the 5-year trend, it appears that this would be a promising for the future business venture. Since 1990, the PPP has been on a continual upward trend. This is promising in that it could mean that more business is being brought to China and thus producing more income for the country and its people. Because of the large economies in the US and China, the exchange rates between the two are watched with a close eye. The current exchange rate is 6.7 yuan to $1. In 2015, the Chinese stock market began to decline, and investors started to invest outside the country and exchange their money into US dollars. This caused the Chinese banks to lose $39 billion and dropped 3% against the United States dollar. With the United States-China trade war that started in 2018, the Chinese yuan has weakened as the US dollar has become stronger with the imposed tariffs. One impact that the fluctuations can have on a business venture due to the exchange rates is exporting goods into the country. This is especially a conflict that China has with the United States. From the business venture perspective, it will cost more money to export the products to China. With the US dollar being more powerful at this point in time, it may make more sense to create domestically in China and convert the dollar into yuan, making the dollar stretch further. One recommendation on how to deal with the risk of possible fluctuations are to create a contract with business partners and clients in which the payment is due to the company based on what the rate is when the order is placed. This will ensure that the business will get the money they anticipated no matter what the exchange rate is. The first product we suggest is an air purifier. China's air pollution rates are one of the highest in the world. Statistics show that 3/8 of the Chinese population breathe in air that would be considered unhealthy if judged by the United States standard. The pollution in China is linked to over 1.6 million deaths a year. A lot of the pollution comes from factories and emissions from industrial zones. Our product would make it possible to breathe clean air inside those homes. There are several different companies that already sell air purifiers in China, such as Mitsubishi, Refine Air, Philips, and Smart Air. To have a competitive advantage, we guarantee 100% purified air. Other features will include low noise, a light setting for when sleep occurs, detect and automatically turn on when the pollution in the air is getting bad, and ultraviolet technology that disinfects and kills the bacteria in the air. The air purifiers manufactured in China are not good quality. Our suggestion is to manufacture them in the US and import them to China. We recommend having a website and an online shopping source, as well as a store location in China to sell our product. The second product we think would be a success to sell in China is household cleaning products. In 2018, the Chinese household cleaners segment had a revenue of $3,552 million US. The market is estimated to grow 4.1% annually. Currently, there are 2 major companies selling household products in China. There are Hefei Unilever Detergent Company and Shanghai Unilever Company. In order to obtain temporary sustainable competitive advantage, we suggest we offer a natural household cleaner. More and more Chinese people are looking for a natural cleaning product. They are more environmentally aware and health conscious. They are seeking a product that is chemical free but will still fight bacteria and germs. Many Chinese consumers purchase household cleaning products online. We suggest our business has online sales as well as stocking store shelves. We believe importing this product to be the best option. With lowering of tariffs and customs paperwork, importing might be easier than establishing a manufacturing site. Pricing on our product will be important to consider. The Chinese culture correlates price with quality. Incorrect pricing could lead to a bad first impression, and our brand could be labeled as not sufficient. Our third product is a pressure cooker called the Instant Pot. The Instant Pots are the new start cookers that everyone has been raging over. They are currently only sold in the United States and Canada. However, they are manufactured in China, which makes it easy because then our company wouldn't have to import them into China. Instant Pots are an easy one-touch control pressure cooker that can cook your food up to 70% faster. With the busy Chinese lives, Instant Pots will make cooking quicker and easier. Now is the time to take Instant Pot pressure cookers to the market in China. There is only one online wholesaler where the Chinese people can purchase Instant Pots and have them shipped to them. Our company can do better than that. We will bring our Instant Pots to China and have them sold and stored locally. The Chinese people will love to cook, and we believe that Instant Pots offer a quick solution to cooking and has easy cleanup.